Hey you, yeah you, are you looking for an escape? Maybe just for an hour to laugh, cry, roll your eyes, or even just have a minute to yourself.
Or ever just want to embrace your feminine side, and what better way to do that than have the color pink riding shotgun, as pink isn't just a color, it's a state of mind. Thanks Audrey Hepburn for that quote.
Then look no further. Introducing the new podcast, Truth and Pink.
We're Sarah and Channa, 1979 Gen X, strong. But more Zennials, that forgotten little slice of Gen X with just enough millennial edge to know what TikTok is,
but way too cool to care. Hey babes, welcome back to another week. It's been another week of fun-filled everything. I don't know. Thanks for joining us. My name is Channa.
I'm Sarah. Total chaos has just followed us around wherever we have gone.
Yeah. Chaos for sure.
Yes. Okay, I'm loving the pink behind you. So everybody who's watching, and if you're not watching, you're missing out because the pink light, I definitely need to get one of those. So
the perks of being in your 21-year-old son's room.
I love it.
It's his mood light. I don't ask. Okay.
What's this thing in the middle of your room that looks like a pole? I don't understand.
What's this hook doing above your bed?
TMI.
Okay, there is no hook for
no.
Just for reference.
No, we don't.
Is no hook. I would be more concerned that they would find something like that in my room.
Yeah, but the thing about that is you'd own it. You'd be like, and what's the issue?
Don't ask questions you don't want answers.
You don't want answers to. Or you'd be happy to supply the answer. Like, know what you want.
I'll just let you know. It's not a big deal.
Right. And yeah, I'll let you know. So episode 12. 12 weeks ago we started this.
Right?
12.
Like you said,
12.
we really need to redo the intro. We're working on it.
We are.
We're still
work in progress. It's a work in progress.
I still feel new, fresh and new.
I mean, we're not even considered established till we've got a year in our belt. So 12 is we're negative still.
So really funny, or cute, I guess not funny. We have Spotify, and so today they put out our year in review or whatever, and I've never had a podcast on there. It's always just been music. And it was your number one podcast is Truth and Pink. And I was like, my number one podcast is my own podcast.
All of our 7 downloads.
But I listen to them too, so it's cute. Yeah. So
I think they're enjoyable, but we're the creators of the show. So is it bad that we think our own stuff is
content
good? Huh.
But it gives me maybe reference. It gives me, I don't know. I get to listen to it and I go, okay, that was a good point. I want to hinge on that more next week, or that was a good point.
Right.
I want to add to that next week. So that kind of gives me little nuggets,
golden nuggets. Yep. Golden nugget. Well, and not to get too nerdy or anything, but our best episode was when we talked about relationships. Everybody that was our best episode. So I'm hoping that we can do the same with this episode. It's going to be a relationship with your hormones.
Yeah, with cougar puberty. Newsflash, that shit's coming, and it's coming hard, and I am not gonna let it run me over. I'm just not.
Well, it's doing a good job with me. It is really trying. I'm still fighting.
I know you are
fighting, but it's doing a good job. And I feel like whether we're in puberty, pregnancy, perimenopause, menopause, whatever, I feel like a woman's body is going through shit every single stage of our life, right? We're just not ever at rest. We are just pumping out those hormones, which one of the reasons I wanted to do this episode is because I do feel like we need some truth bombs today, right? We're Truth and Pink. We need some truth bombs. I feel like I've seen a lot of misinformation out there. I've been victim to a lot of that because you're grasping at straws. You want to find,
Yeah.
whatever, and not
So
even the
you
easy
hear
fixes.
something or see something,
Right,
you're like, oh, I'm
right.
gonna do that. Oh, I'm
Yep,
gonna do that.
yep.
Not all of it works.
What's the
Okay, like,
craziest thing you've tried?
like
Yeah, you
cavitation,
do.
like red light therapy, like that cavitation, like, oh, wrap your body in this and go get the heat and whatever, and it'll melt away 2 pound or 2 inches off your belly.
Wait, so you're talking sauna or you're talking red light there? Because red
No,
light therapy is rejuvenating your cells.
sure. No, it's
Okay,
like I think it's called literally called like cavitation.
okay.
And it's like heat and they're it's almost like you feel like it's like a lymphatic massage almost, but they do it like primarily like around your belly, and then they wrap you, and you're supposed to be nice and hot for like an hour, and then you can, unwrap yourself, and they're like, you're gonna lose 2 inches.
And did you?
And they send you like before, you do a before picture, and then you send them an after picture. No, it worked for one of my girlfriends, which is the only reason why I did it. I don't think that
You're
she
like, I must have done it wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. What's the I can't think of it. You said like there was something else that specifically that I
No,
did.
no, 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 no. I just feel like I have a laundry list. Like at one point, and I don't know that it was specific to perimenopause, but it was like that whole rejuvenation in your mitochondria and trying to replenish your cells. Look, if people are using it and it works for them, great. I didn't see any difference. And I know Gary Brecka, one of the biggest influencers out there, like stands by it. But hydrogen water, I bought the whole bottle thing
Like the
and did the
pH, the alkaline water. The
No, it's
alkaline water.
hydrogen water. No, it's
Oh,
this little contraption that like puts molecules into your water, and it's supposed to be the most hydrating water that you can drink.
okay.
It's
And
called
what's it supposed to do
hydrogen
for you?
water.
So
Well,
then
you're
does that
supposed to
mean
be
instead of
super
drinking a
hydrated.
whole last gallon a day, I
You're
can
only
do
drinking half a gallon.
gallon?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
essentially.
legit?
Legit.
Okay.
Yeah, and like now he has like an Alka-Seltzer that you can drop in your water and it'll like clean up your water and make it hydrogen water because that's supposed to be the most
I
molecular missing or right. And I'm like,
I know people that drink alkaline water because it's supposed to keep away cancer, because cancer can't live in an alkaline body
but I think that depends on what your pH levels are already at.
to begin with. And here's the thing, now that I'm a nurse, you can actually throw your body into like
Yes.
alkalosis, which totally screws your whole metabolism and your
Now you're
whole
screwed.
pH off.
Yep.
So I don't know that I completely
Yeah. Well, and
can
again,
buy
I
into
mean,
that
if
either.
you don't know what you're at to begin with, and you're just, like you said, adding this stuff, and then I have all these symptoms, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, it's your water. Like my biggest beef lately has been the removal of the black box warning on HRT. That's my
Yeah.
biggest pet peeve right now. And here's why. Here's why. They removed the black box around what they said caused heart attack, stroke, all of the bad things, right? And cancer. They took the black box away, but they did not take away the list of what it causes. They just moved it down to side effects. And all of these influencers in the wellness space have come out saying, oh my gosh, women have been lied to for a whole, 20 years. We could have had this at our fingertips and not have to suffer these symptoms and had all these things. They didn't say, and the other thing was they reinterpreted the data, but they did zero clinical study present day to show.
Right. And look at any drug that comes out has to have that warning label. And here's the thing that I've learned in all of my schooling is that if one person dies with the administration of that drug, they have to say that death is a possible side effect. You could
Right.
you could test 1 million people and only one person dies, or it can maybe be attributed to that, and they literally have to write that death is could be a possible side effect. And
Right.
that's so misleading.
But this was something they did do a clinical study on 20 years ago, which is why the
Right.
black box
I've
came
got the
into
data.
effect. Right. And now they're saying, oh, they misread the data. Okay, I'm not stupid. They misread the data and so declassified the black box warning, but they did not take away heart attack, stroke, cancer from
It's all
what
there.
HRT can cause. It's all there.
Right. So I guess, so you're upset that the side effects are still listed on the box. It just no longer has what we call that, quote unquote, that black box label on it.
The real
So
scary.
you're upset. Right. So you're upset, rightfully so, that they've taken the box away. So the things are still there. Well, let's talk about the again, what people, the misinformation that's out there in the universe, in everything. You're right. We've been lied to for years. And all the girls out there, women out there talking about all of the things. Yes, we've been lied to for years, but we haven't been lied to about the side effects for it. Like the side effects are still there. And so they're just painting it in a different picture. And I don't know, maybe they're getting endorsements from some of these companies, and that's why they're trying to say
100%.
we've been lied to, right?
But it's the specific campaign that I'm seeing, especially, like I said, that wellness influencers are running with that really concern me because from 20 years ago, you had a black box, right? And it didn't necessarily prevent doctors from still prescribing it, but it wasn't prescribed into the masses that people think it's going to do now, okay? The problem is the estrogen, the HRT, that they're prescribing to make it all better. To me, they are lying that it's by them saying we were lied to for 20 years. Now it's okay. Now everybody's going to go get their symptoms relieved. My issue is estrogen is going to mask and make you feel better, but that's just because you're feeding your body more of it, which is not only going to increase your risk for heart attack and stroke, it's going to increase your risk for breast cancer, with the caveat of if you don't have low estrogen to begin with and they're giving you this to get through it's the same thing I say about when doctors just say here's a pill, here's the birth control pill that'll fix all your stuff.
Right.
If you're not monitoring your levels, you're getting, just like we were just talking about with the alkaline, if you're taking this extra stuff, you're doing your body a disservice. So now they've taken the black box out. All these women are running in and saying, I need relief. I need this. I need this. I need this. And they're like, oh, I feel so much better on it. And they don't know what their levels are.
Well, and so then that's where we come in. And that's where we come in, like as a nurse and a wellness coach. Until we're blue in the face, I'm going to tell you, you're going to tell everybody that we need to go out and we need to get our levels tested. When we were younger, yes, we got this birth control pill. It was a one size fits all. Now HRT is a one size fits all, but it's not, because
we aren't.
Instance, no, we're not. And so perfect for instance, so we're going to get into talking about like Sarah and I. Okay, so I was having all these perimenopause symptoms, which is why I started Primal Queen, because I was trying to get rid of some of those, and that worked. I was still having some, I know, I love it. I was still having some hot flashes occasionally. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do about that? Sarah was like, oh, progesterone cream, that's good. I didn't go and get my labs checked. I should have. But I was like, just, again, slap something on it, needs to work. So I did.
What do you always say? Throw spaghetti at the wall, don't you say?
Throw spaghetti at the wall and see if it sticks, okay? Well, that shit stuck, and like it erased everything, and I felt so good. So between that and the Primal Queen, I felt great. Every symptom was gone. It was good. But then I decided I needed to get my levels checked because one of my girlfriends, well, several of my girlfriends, a little bit older than me, but started taking tea. And we're like, oh, tea is this great thing. And I was like, well, I kind of want to look into it.
Tea meaning testosterone, for those who don't.
Tea meaning testosterone. Yeah, sorry. And so what did I finally go do? I went and got my hormones tested. And they came back. My tea was fine. Damn it. I wanted to lift stronger. I wanted like this libido, like I was 22 again. Like I was looking for like, right? But it showed me that my progesterone was low, but on the normal low. So she was like, thank goodness you're taking progesterone. Otherwise, I would have. So it was good that I did that. But I found out that my estrogen levels were perfect. So if I went out and started taking, actually, they were optimized. So if I went out and started taking a one size fits all HRT that has a ton of estrogen in it, I'd throw my estrogens extremely far out of whack. Just like you already have gotten your stuff tested, right? And you found out that you're estrogen dominant. So that would be like murder for you.
And it is.
Like,
it is murder.
Let's just run blindly through. And so I just think that, again, we're all like, you make you make this conscious decision, right? When I'm like meal prepping, you always tell me, oh, I can't have that. That's estrogen dominant or
estrogenic.
What do you tell me? Yeah, estrogenic, right? And you're like, I can't have that but I'm just like eating it in gobs because I'm okay with that. But those are the things that you learn by taking the time and the money, unfortunately, to go out, because most of our primary care doctors don't do that. You have to go to see some sort of a specialist, but they even make them online now. I literally went on to Hone, not like, I thought, I think it was like $65. There's other tests that I've done. Reasonable. I was thinking about doing the Dutch test, which is a much more expensive, much more in depth, but I thought $65 and I don't have to go fight with a doctor.
Sure. And it's a good place to start.
Yeah, I thought it was a good place to start. And that's all I was figuring is, let's start somewhere, see where it gets me. And if it's shit, then I only lost $65.
Right. So, and I think testing 100%. But there are, you can look online, type in estrogen dominant symptoms, and it will give you a plethora of a list of things that you can go, oh, I checked that box. Oh, I checked that box. Oh, I checked that box. So if you're not in a place yet where you want to go get tested, it's actually not going to hurt you unless you have no estrogen. And here's the other lie that I get upset about. This society, the medical profession, whatever, they try and make women feel like we're broken. Okay? We are not broken. Our bodies are doing what it is designed to do. What happens is,
I can make babies.
Right.
I am not broken.
Right.
And I'm sorry for those of you that can't. You're not broken. You're just special.
No, it goes back to hormones. It goes back to hormones. And what from just again, and I don't want to be a nerd, but just the blankets. I'm trying to be very not nerd. My husband's like, you're really smart. You should talk about these other things. I'm like, no, because Truth in Pink is like my go-to happy place where I don't have to be the nerd. I don't have to be, you want to listen to me be the nerd, go listen to Everything's Messy, because that's where I'm the nerd. Here, I'm just the fun girlfriend, right? But it's so, I hate, if this was a man, and I'm not hating on the men, but if men were going through this problem, they would have already fucking figured it out, right? But instead,
for years, we're told to just suck it up.
Or they gaslight us. You're normal. There's nothing wrong. Do you want an antidepressant? No, I don't.
No, I don't. I woke up this morning, TMI, but I figure we're all girls here. I woke up for the first time in forever in a puddle. And I was like, oh. I had to get up and run to the bathroom and change my nap tampon and wash all my sheets and scrub my sheets. And I'm like, what am I, like 16 again? Like, it's so, I'm like, what is going on? But, and I tell my husband, and he's like, I'm
fucking Joanna,
a girl. Yeah, I'm so glad I'm not a girl. So glad I'm not a girl. And I was like, yeah, the shit that we have to deal with.
I have no idea.
Every day. And then don't you dare call me hormonal, because I do have hormones that literally change with the moon.
You can say it. I can't promise you what the outcome's going to be for you.
Sir, do you want to talk about those hormones?
What is it? One of my favorite quotes or sayings in Friends: no uterus, no opinion. Right? No uterus, no opinion. Shut the fuck up.
What do they say? We should emasculate them. And next time they get something, oh, honey, are you on your period? Are you just hormonal?
Yeah. Well, but so my thing is, I feel like, well, two things. We're in perimenopause and or premenopause right now, if you will, right?
Cool.
But if you look at traditional Chinese medicine, when you go into menopause, we're not broken. We're not, our body is doing, right? The pituitary gland signals no more eggs to make. We're shutting that down. Pituitary gland send the signal, shuts down the baby making factory. We should be coming into a beautiful stage in our life where now we get to rest or do whatever the hell we want. Book that vacation where we don't have to worry that we're going to be on our period when we're going to go swim or whatever it is.
Your period and going, we can't go on the cruise that week. That's a bad time.
Yep. Bad time. I want to be in my really cute bikini and
white bikini, and that is not going to work for me.
But what I hate is this whole thing. First, the lie of estrogen keeps you young. No. And at a certain age, like I just said, we stop making estrogen. Right now, they're trying to convince us we're not making estrogen. We are, right? What's happening is the phytoestrogen and the xenoestrogen that we're getting from outside. And it's wreaking havoc on our system because our body is making the estrogen internally that we're supposed to make. It's all these added extra estrogens, which was why I became estrogen dominant, because I had all of these xeno and phytoestrogens that were just having a party in my system. Progesterone was down here. Estrogen was up here. And until you can do this, right? And those of you that are listening on the radio, I'm trying to make my hands balance like a scale. It's right. And so because I've had a lot of clients tell me, well, progesterone didn't help me. Okay, well, let me see your labs. And the progesterone levels that they were off were low, but their problem was their estrogen was so high and they didn't do anything to bring it down. So now it doesn't matter that you've added the estrogen, where in your case, you're optimized with your estrogen and you added a little progesterone and you're like, ding.
And I feel great. And I feel great. And so it was like what you and I, we should have been recording before the pod. We were talking about hormones even before that on our own stuff. But most of our body works off of a negative feedback loop. So again, all that means is when something's low, then something else kicks in to make it go high. And then when it goes low, when the next thing goes low or goes high, then it can slow down the production. Like that is a negative feedback loop. And so that's the same thing as like what most people understand, your melatonin. So a lot of people take melatonin at night to help them sleep. You will never find me taking melatonin because if you take it, too much of it, then your body goes, it's too high, so I don't need to make it anymore. And your body physically stops making its own melatonin. And now you're dependent on the damn over-the-counter melatonin that you've been
and you got to keep taking it and increasing your dose.
Right. And so that's what you've been saying about like your estrogen is we get so much estrogen out in the world in all of these foods in the form of the phyto and the xenoestrogens that some of it wreaks havoc on some of our body. And like yours, it has. So it's caused your levels to go insanely high. So now your body's like, I don't need to make so much of it. But for me, for whatever reason, my body has some sort of a level to it when it comes to that. Maybe I'm not eating those things as much. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or again, our chemistries are different. So
I was going to say,
my body
optimized.
metabolism is different than what your body metabolizes. Exactly. This is why we need to test our hormones.
And keep in mind, because we are individuals, what works for you doesn't work for me. And the only other thing that I want to say, because I really want people to understand, and I want my truth babes to understand this, and I know that I will get on tangents and you can tell me to be quiet, but this is so important. There is no supplement, quick fix, special wrap yourself in your body fix to detox your body from estrogen. The only way you can detox your body from estrogen is to stop putting that estrogen in your body. It took me 2 years to become almost estrogen free. 2 years. 2 years. And that was...
But not estrogen free. I don't like that word. Like you got...
Estrogen balanced.
Okay, yeah.
Estrogen balanced.
I was like, I don't like that free word.
Yeah. Right.
Because you have
our body.
Estrogen.
Right. But there is no... I read... Again, I'm such a nerd. I read all of this clinical research and what people are saying. And there's a big community online. I call them the carrot salad brigade because they have a big presence in social media and they tell everybody. And of course, their followers are off the root and they have all of the, influencers. And they're telling their people to eat carrot salad. That'll soak up the estrogen. That's 100% bullshit. Okay.
Is it?
100% bullshit. On top of, they're recommending supplements that actually have estrogen in it. So let's talk about ashwagandha. Let's talk about lion's mane. Let's talk about milk thistle. All of these are extremely estrogenic. So if you are being sold these things, you're just putting more estrogen in your body. And if you're already estrogen dominant like I was, it's just adding layers and layers and layers and layers. But that information is not out there. I had to go down my stupid nerd rabbit holes to
Yeah,
figure
but let's
out
just
what's
point
going
out
on.
that you always talk about your nerd wormholes, right? But you're just trying to do what's best for your body because you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing for yourself, that you're taking the right things for yourself. And so again, like just like when we started the workout program for you, okay, what worked for me didn't work for you. So we're going to take that algorithm and we're just going to change it to make sure that the things that you can have are on there. And so, but people don't do that. People just say, okay, just give me the answer and I'll do that.
Right.
Because again,
And it
we
it doesn't work
want it
that way.
better. But
I
we
know.
just want it better. I
I
don't
know.
blame anybody who, again, every fad out there, all of us jumped on the keto diet. All of us jumped on,
Well, and
like,
again, the keto can work for some. We've talked about how the carnivore can work for some. It didn't necessarily work for me. It was too much fat. I needed to reduce some of that fat. Now, I still stand by that carnivore-esque diet
mhm.
with putting, removing some fat and putting in some fruit and things like that is a much better way to go. But I see these people online who are like, I'm at one meal a day. I eat beef, butter, and eggs. That's what I eat. I've dropped 60 pounds.
You're going to get you're going to have a heart attack and
Well,
atherosclerosis
that's
by the
actually
time
not
you are 60 with all
so.
that fat
So
and
there's
lipids.
mixed. There's
Oh,
mixed. There's mixed. There's a doctor online, Dr. Sean Baker, who's an actual MD, and he's actually done research papers saying that you won't get atherosclerosis and heart
like to
attack
read them.
because yeah, I'll
Like
send
to
him to you.
read them.
It's because and one of the reasons why I'm drawn to him is my whole thing is I go against what the conventional medical system is saying. Not
Because you
you.
can't
I love
unscience the
you.
science, like the lipids and everything, the trans fats going through your system that comes in the butter and the things that you're eating, those things that goes through and damages the endothelium and then like, how do you
That's
unscience
what they
that?
have paid because that's what they have paid. That's what these companies have paid for those research things to say. When really the data that I have seen, it's the seed oils. It's all of the very, very harsh canola oil, vegetable. It's the seed oils that were literally industrial solvent before they bleached it, cleaned it, and packages at a cooking oil. That's really what's wrecking havoc. And it's not.
I mean, I
It's
don't
not that I
disagree that seed oils are bad for you. Sorry. Continue.
No, it's okay. Well, and I was also going to say in regards to cholesterol, and this is a hard pill, I know, on my other podcast, I had actually two people that were 100% double down on what I had said and was like, that's absolutely correct. And then I've had a few that want to debate, which I'm open to debate. These are not things that I'm saying, emphatically so. It's stuff that I have read. I've seen it backed up. It's things that it's things that make you go, hmm. So when you look at
Okay,
the
CNC.
history, well, I'm old. What can I say?
CNC Music Factory.
CNC manufacturing.
Was that
Does it
right?
make you go, hmm? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. I was just making sure my reference is all right.
It is.
Fact check me.
Yeah, fact check it. Put a pin in it and fact check it. When you look at the history of pharmaceuticals and how they keep moving the boundary of what is considered high cholesterol, so they can turn around and prescribe statins to everyone. And then you realize the uptick in elder people that are getting Alzheimer's are all on a statin. And then you actually look at the integrity of what cholesterol does. Cholesterol actually is what protects our brain cells from dementia. And if we put all
Right,
these
'cause that's
elderly
cholesterol.
people's correct, that's correct. But if we're putting all these people on statins, it's not keeping the good cholesterol either. So what's happening? They're getting what's called type 3 diabetes, which is Alzheimer's, which is wrecking havoc. Also, the pharmaceutical companies can prescribe more statins, just like they keep moving the goalposts for what's considered low blood pressure. 20 years ago, it was not what they just changed it today, which now it's like 130/80. Well, the problem with that is
They say
it
130
used to
is
be,
low?
I'm sorry, 120/80. But if you look 20 years ago at what the blood pressure schematics were, it was like 180 was considered low blood pressure. And so they keep
High.
moving the goalpost. No, that was their low. They keep moving the goalpost so they can start prescribing all of these low blood pressure meds on top of the cholesterol. So
But
they're
120 is not low. Now there's 180. I'm confused. Now we're
so
confusing me because that's not what they're teaching. I mean, that's not what I've taught in nursing school or in the nurse, in the doctor, and then in the medical world.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'm using bad, my words are getting confused. So they're saying that if you have 130/80, it is considered high blood pressure. So when you get a reading of 130/80, it gets marked on your chart. This is considered high. Now you're going to get talked to about having blood pressure medicine.
Okay.
I'm sorry, my bad. I mixed it up.
Yeah, I'm sitting here going,
I'm sorry. You were not
no,
confused. It was my fault. It's
make
my
it
fault.
make sense. What you're saying is not computing in my brain.
Yeah, it should.
Okay, Jeffrey and I just were not arguing about this today, but arguing about it today only because as an ICU nurse, I don't look at norms anymore. So like, yes, we were taught that anything over 140 is high blood pressure. If you have 140, I don't
Stage 1 or whatever, right?
Yeah, it literally, he was talking about stages to me too. And I was like, I don't give a shit until you're like stage 5 and you're like 170, 180. Then I'm like, you've been at 180 for like an hour. Okay, let's do something about that. But like, I mean, maybe not. Like 160. 160 is usually my threshold where we don't treat it unless it's over 160. So if you're 161, I'm sorry, I'm using my nursing judgment. I'm not treating 161.
Right, right. But in the realms of the spectrum, they're now saying,
I'm going to give you medication.
In the maintenance world of a doctor now, and here's the second part to this is, then they tell you to go on a low sodium diet. Okay? So they say no sodium or low sodium. Then they give you the blood pressure medicine. Okay. And we know this. Elderly people typically run low to begin with, right? Well, now you have no salt. Now you're taking a low blood pressure medicine and you've completely flushed out all of your electrolytes. So you have no sodium in your body. So what do you think is happening? They're passing out. Yeah. They're not able because they're told no salt. Now, again, I'm not speaking about the salt on the French fries at McDonald's. That's not the good salt. That's MSG. That's chemical laden. They put like 15 other chemicals in. I am talking about...
Who needs those anymore?
Talking about the salt, the good sodium, the Redmond's salt that comes from Utah that has the, minerals that go with it, that is good for our body. Because what do they do? And you can answer to this. What happens when they bring somebody in with low blood pressure? What's the first thing they do? They stick an IV of saline in them, right? And how much sodium is saline?
Half an S, 0.95 or 0.5.
So
it just depends.
They tell us no sodium,
and then
but then to bring it back up.
Well, and so like again, everything goes back to anything and everything in moderation, right? Because if we cut out salt in your diet, we do need iodized salt in our diet because iodine is what helps our thyroid.
No, if you
yes, it does. Oh my gosh, no, you need the iodine in order to create the T3, which then creates the T4, which is part of your thyroid.
You and I just talked about this. It depends on what your thyroid levels are, because people who have had thyroidectomies and people who have Hashimoto's like I do, they have too much iodine.
Yes,
you don't want iodized salt. The better salt is the mineral salt that you get underground from Utah, and Redmond's is great salt. I'm not affiliated with them, but they're great. I also use Muldoon's, comes from Scotland or Ireland in the mount, whatever. The height. There you go. It is such a different, but table salt, iodized salt, unless you know your iodine level, you better be careful. It's going to wipe out your thyroid.
When are we going to be fighting?
We're not fighting, though. I think we're saying
no, I know we're not fighting.
Thing.
No,
I think
we are.
I think
again,
we're saying the same thing.
I would again, sure. I would never cut out all salts because I need it. And again, where salt goes, water follows. So again, if you don't have things, and it throws your electrolyte balances off. And so
yes. My mom used to drink the water that had the picture of the baby on it because it was distilled water. And she's like, no, this is the most cleanest water that I can have. And it was so hard to be able to explain to her, you are actually making yourself more dehydrated. This is distilled water. There is nothing in this water that's replenishing your potassium, your chloride, your sodium. There's nothing. You are literally stripping out everything, and you are dehydrating yourself. It took years for me to get her.
Understand. Which is funny because she's a nurse.
Yes.
But
trained conventionally like all of you.
Yeah. Well, some of us can think outside of the box. Okay.
Yeah.
But we get a lot of our vitamins like potassium and like in the foods that we eat, which is why a well-balanced diet is important. And so you can drink the baby whatever mineral, non-mineral water. What did you just call it? Distilled.
It's distilled, which means that it's taken everything out of it. And there's nothing put back into it.
See, living life is confusing.
And this is why I don't get nerdy on Truth in Pink, because I just want to sit here and laugh. But I do feel like I do feel like, and again, oh, wait, so I'm sorry, go back and tell me why you were arguing with Jeff about stages.
Oh, just because when we're taught our normals are 100 to 140. Anything under 100 is low blood pressure. Anything over 140 is high blood pressure. And in a normal person, that is true. In a sick individual, I can go above and or below those parameters and not have to worry per se. So,
and thank God you do.
When I look at something, and this is what I figured out, and I think I might have mentioned this before, but I'll say it anyway. So the hardest part about me going to nurse practitioner school right now is that my brain is trained for critical care. So I see things that normal people look at and I go, okay, that's not so bad. I can fix it. It's not a big deal. A normal nurse, a regular med-surg nurse would go, oh my gosh, that's so terrible. What are we doing? We got to get it. And I don't do that because I'm like, this isn't that big of a deal because I've seen the crazy extremes.
Sure.
So when you've seen the extremes, and as a critical care nurse, I don't get somebody back to complete homeostasis. I take them out of the crazy red zone.
Crisis.
I bring them, correct, and I bring them back to a pseudo norm, and then I send them off to the other nurse who gets to finish correcting
worry about
the thing, right? And so that's been the hardest part for me is because I'll see a lab on in like a question and I'll go, no, that's fine. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that. And Jeffrey goes, why aren't you worried about that? I'm like, because their blood pressure is 138 over whatever. Yeah, like, that's fine. Okay. He goes, no, Channa, that's
Are they in pain? Are they fighting a fever? Are they like,
I'm looking at the crazier
look
things.
At the other factors.
So I've had to kind of retrain my brain back to, okay, I need to start recognizing those. I need to start living I need to start living inside those lines again. And so that's just kind of the hard.
You have to come out from the ambiguity and live now in more black and white, which I hope you don't lose that. And I wanted to be very clear too. When I say that I'm against conventional medicine, let me define that a little bit. We have the best acute emergency care in the world. That's why everybody comes here. I mean, my God, I had a heart attack. I had to go to the cath lab. What would I have done if that was not
available to you?
Right.
Or
So,
if you had to sit in the waiting room and they're like, that's going to be like 3 or 4 days till we can get you in.
right, right. Socialized medicine, hello. But and to your point of you're in this crisis mindset, which thank God you are, and I hope you don't lose that. Because for me, the acute critical care that you are given, hands down, bar none. It's the maintenance of medicine that I am really pushing back hard on.
Mhm.
That's what I'm calling the conventional medicine because it's not it's not black and white. It is ambiguous. It is you have to be down in the minutia and you need a doctor and or a nurse practitioner who can say, you know, like whatever you were telling me about my thyroid before we hit record.
Before we hit
Like,
record.
yeah, you're like,
Well,
oh yeah,
here's the
that's,
problem,
you
and I
know,
know that we talked about it when you had me on your podcast, and I don't want to like get crazy into this because of time, at least not on this one, but the but we're given time constraints, and that's part of the problem with medicine these days, between time constraints and what the insurance companies are willing to pay and
right. And how
reimburse,
you have to
all of
code it,
that.
new patient versus routine,
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
right. And so again, if you come in for something, I have to explain why, if I order something, a test or a diagnostic outside of the box for
You have to
that,
justify.
I have to justify it. And if I can't justify it, then it comes out of my paycheck. It doesn't, like, maybe I can pass it off to the patient. I don't, maybe that's why patient bills are so high sometimes. I don't know, but it doesn't, but I have to pay for it because the insurance company won't pay for it. And that's a whole other
Right, it's all about the coding,
box
I get
of,
that. But if you're a net NP, or I'll just make it more vague, if I'm a
if you're a
patient and
provider.
I go to if I'm a patient and I go to a new doctor and I have high blood pressure, I am overweight, and I'm depressed, and your first question to me is not, "What are you eating?" And "Are you exercising?" I have a huge issue with that because all you're doing is treating the symptoms for how I got to this stage in my life, and you are not looking at what is your lifestyle, which we have said before,
Right.
which is
And
where
that is,
I come in with the coaching because nobody wants to ask those
yes.
hard questions.
But this is why you and I have talked about how I think that it's going to be super important. I think that wellness centers are going to, okay, so like maybe our parents worked out a little bit. I remember like Jane Austen and all those people, right?
Sure,
But then
sure.
like our generation now, like working out like crazy. And so I'm hoping that with that, people are going to start putting in or have the mindset of, okay, we need something better than what's happening. We need
Right,
actually, I just don't want to
right.
go to clinic. I want to go to a wellness center. I want somebody that's going to take care of my body, my mind, my soul, all the things. And so, yes, you and I have discussed about, it's not just about that. Like, I want to be the provider who's able to say, okay, I will prescribe you something for that for now. But you also have to see the health coach. I need you to see the nutritionist.
Nutritionist.
I need you to
Yep.
see these people, and you need to make some lifestyle changes. We need to see some, because a pill isn't going to fix you forever. It's putting a Band-Aid on something. You need to focus on the whole person, and we'll get the whole person
Yep.
better.
Yep. Then
Because
and
we are getting,
that's why I'm telling you we're on the same page.
yes, I
We
know.
are getting sicker.
Because as a whole, we are getting sicker as a nation. I don't know. I mean, it's the world, but like we're getting sicker. So like
Mhm.
type 1 was always something, type 1 diabetes was always something that we saw in younger people, right? Because that's an autoimmune issue. Type 2 has always been something that was
Came later in
an
life.
adult, like late.
Late
We're
onset.
starting to see it. We're starting to see it in children. Why? Because our children are eating like shit, and they're fat, and they're obese, and their
They're not
parents are
moving. They're
allowing
not
it,
moving.
and they're
Yep.
sitting in front of a screen. And so we're seeing type 2 in children, and this is insane to me. It's literally Wally. I know who has
Jeff says that all the time,
it's
right? No, yep.
literally Wally.
It is. It is. Yeah.
Literally
He actually calls because he gets so frustrated. He actually calls the little scooters they drive around at Disneyland, even for people, because you see some of those people on those scooters and you know goddamn good and well they are not, like, there's nothing wrong with them.
No, they have them
And
over for Vegas.
so he calls, he goes like, "Oh man, another fucking Wally, get out of my way."
But that's true. They have them in Vegas. You can rent them all over. So you see these like 20 somethings rolling around on these little seated.
And it started with the e-scooters. It started with now we have the e-bike. But like that's a whole different thing. But so really quick though, back to what you were talking about with the wellness center too, I want to say the other part to this though is, and I think we've talked about this before, personal accountability and taking responsibility. And I actually, I have my wellness coaching certificate and then I have a neuroscience certificate. And the only reason I took that is, one, I have a whole family of neurodivergence and I wanted to see if I could understand better. And I think I've mentioned to you before, I had to learn learning styles. How do they learn better? What, I have a musical kid, I have a math kid, I have a kinesiology kid. Like that's how they learn and process all these information. And so that helped me just doing homeschool with them, right? But then as I apply that to people and their behavior, and like I can tell you in the first 30 seconds that I'm asking you my intake paperwork, I can tell you in 30 seconds whether I can work with you or not. Because you're either going to want to make these, you've come to me because you want to make changes and you're willing to look within.
Right.
Or you want the fast carrot salad pill that you think is going to fix everything. And you're not going to get that with me.
Yeah, and that's okay. And that's why, like, I have a friend who's a lawyer and he's a family lawyer. And he's like, look, I will take your money, but I don't want to take like all of your money. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to follow the law. We're going to do this. I'm not trying to take anybody to the cleaners. If you are out for blood, I am not the lawyer for you. Because I'm just not willing to do that. That's not a thing. I could tell you I'm going to do it, and then I could take all of your money, and I could.
And I don't operate like.
Yeah, and so there's just sometimes like how you operate as a person, and what kind of a client that you can take, and help. And so yeah, I could take your money, but why am I going to take your money if I know that you're not going to prescribe to what I
do it. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're just gonna, it's another EOS fitness. Like, oh, I'm just gonna take your money and you 100%. Don't show up for the whole year. And it's okay. I'm just gonna still take your money because I'm here for you if you need me.
Right.
No,
right.
We're not here for that.
No. And there are tens of thousands of wellness coaches out there that will happily take your money and they don't give a shit about you.
Of course.
I am not. I'm not.
We're different.
We're different.
Different. Yeah.
We're different. So. Thanks for coming to our TED Talk.
So moral of the story, go get your damn hormones tested before you start taking a bunch of shit.
Yeah. Stay away from ashwagandha and lion's mane and milk thistle. If you go on internet and you see that you do have estrogen dominant symptoms, look into your supplement cabinet, get rid of that shit.
Those are adaptogens. I was going to say I actually agree with adaptogens and I like adaptogens and they work well for me. So
but if you don't need them,
you need to find out.
Right. Oh, and wild yam. And so
adaptogens again, are really good for sleep.
Yes. I'd rather have the mushroom adaptogens though. Right. But
of course, like the reishi.
Yeah.
Reishi.
But also, too, the bioidentical hormones, really quick. Just because it says bioidentical hormones does not mean it's good for you. They use wild yam in most bioidentical hormones, okay? Wild yam, what they do, obviously grows wild, but they take it into a lab and they synthesize it and they pull everything out of the wild yam except for the estrogen that they put back in the bioidentical hormone. So you're taking...
understand why they're fucking shit up for us. Who
so
are
just
they?
Really,
what
really
are they
careful.
Trying to do? Yeah. They.
Hey, you know what though? If we get canceled, that means we've arrived. You know,
I've arrived. Does that mean? Does that
if the FDA comes and shuts us down? No, if the FDA comes and shuts us down because we're talking shit on them, then our base
I better
is
get a
so
deal out of
big.
it then.
Yeah, exactly. Our
I'd be like, Chase, Chase, I officially put you to work as our manager. I want all the brand deals.
Yep. Yep. The problem is none of the big brands will work with us because they're, yeah.
I just want my own studio instead of my son's gaming area.
Yeah, but because I'm standing on business with it. Wait, is that what Justin Bieber says? Whatever. Because I'm standing on business, I am not willing to give up the truth, my integrity, and come at me, bro. And if I get canceled, then I did something right.
You better not get canceled.
We have 7 listeners.
Yep.
I know. I think
so as long as no one's telling on us, we'll be fine.
We'll see if YouTube takes our episode down. Then we'll know.
Never.
We got shadow ban. Okay. That wraps up this estrogen TED Talk. And if we need to do part 2 or answer questions, if you have questions, let us know.
We're here. We got a couple of fun weeks coming up, a couple of cute mini episodes. So this one's a little bit longer, but the next 2 will make up for it, okay?
Yeah. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you're telling your friends. Tell your friends.
Yeah. Bring them all. Tell them how crazy
boys or girls. Boys need to hear this too. Just saying.
Laugh with us.
For us. All right. See you later.
See ya.